Good evening and welcome to Pop Go the Writers. No idea. Just kind of hit me right before I did the open.
Okay. I mean, I'm all for channeling Bela Lugosi, I mean, look behind me here, but wow. Okay.
Yep. So, hey everybody, welcome to the show. We are excited because we have a new Marvel series to talk about. And we're going to get to that. And we're going to put the spoiler warning up so you guys know when to run away if you haven't watched it.
And why haven't you watched it yet?
Yeah, it's been a few days now, and this is going to be one of those.
This is Sunday. Come on.
Yeah, everybody's going to be speculating. But so how was your weekend, Jim? What you been up to?
Work. I almost always work weekends, and I think I've probably said it before that my days off are usually in the middle of the week because I really like that. So I've been working, and I work in a very busy place, and this is a very busy time of the year. So it's just work.
I'm trying to understand this concept of a day off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I do the social media for the experience and some for Dynamite. So I'm posting every day.
I know.
I do the news stories on the weekends. And
if you work from home, you always have a day off.
Yeah.
Believe me, I won't. I'm not going to go there. I would love that. That would be heaven.
Now, we talked just before the show that I spent a chunk of the weekend building miniatures and I only painted one, but I didn't mention this one because where I talk about Warhammer, your eyes kind of glaze over a little bit.
Whose eyes? No. I have found points of interest within it. It's okay.
Well, I built one this weekend that I think you'll particularly like.
Okay.
Because it's not Warhammer.
Okay.
It's from a game called Crisis Protocol.
Okay. Like Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Well, actually, it's a Marvel game. So I built and painted a Marvel figure.
Okay. Wow, that's immense.
Yep. Yeah, just to give you a size differentiation, there's one of the Warhammer guys.
Wow. What did they call that, a particular scale for a Hulk?
No, they don't. I can look on the box. I got the box here.
But
yeah, I don't see the scale listing.
Okay, but so are all the figures like that big? I mean, of course, Hulk
no, they seem to be about the Warhammer size.
Okay.
He's particularly large, but then the Hulk is particularly large.
Yeah. Now, my big question is, do they have one of Ben Grimm, the Thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay, because I might need to get that.
Yeah. They have
whether or not I play the game, I might need to have that figure.
But you do have to build them and paint them.
I totally get that idea.
But this guy took me I'd say about 2 hours total.
Okay.
Because it's I did the primer coat and the zenithal fill, and then did the highlight painting or the contrast painting, then did his teeth.
Wow.
And he turned out pretty good. I may do some paint on the base. Right now I got a splash of white that almost looks like bird droppings, and I may leave that.
Okay.
Accidental, because it is a city street. But I got this for the dumbest reason possible. I had an idea for a video, and I'm going to make it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to ruin it now because I'm going to tell you guys. But I'm going to put it up on all the social media stuff, and I think people will forget by then. So when I finish my Grey Knights army for Warhammer, it's going to have 30 some odd figures, varying size. It's going to look like an army. and I'm going to film it. I'm going to do a video, and I'm going to, kind of swoop in like uh, a plane or like a drone, and I'm going to get some good footage of that. And I'm going to do a voiceover. And I've already got JD from my show, weekly show, who's going to edit this together for me. And I'm going to take a clip out of the Avengers. And it's going to be Loki. And Loki's going to say, I have an army. And then we're going to cut to this guy. And Tony Stark saying, we have a Hulk.
I'm seeing it. Yep. All right. I'm looking right now at all the Crisis Protocol stuff on Amazon. Wow, there's a MODOK.
Yep. They have two different versions of Daredevil. They have Daredevil with Bullseye in his standard red outfit. And then they have Daredevil with Elektra and 3 members of the Hand, which are part of the shadow whatever thing he did.
You know what this kind of reminds me of is HeroClix.
It is, but they're much bigger.
Yeah, no, like the scale is different. So I'm saying like, so why not just have HeroClix? Is it because somebody said, oh, well, we'd like that, but we'd like the figures to be bigger?
It might be.
Okay. And I'm assuming that maybe the game is more sophisticated than HeroClix.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but it comes with things with, like, when I buy one of these figures, it's just a figure. When I buy this guy, he's got his own sheet, card, stuff like. Oh, by the way, hello, Harry. Good to see you. So, I thought that was kind of interesting. Now, I'm focused on Warhammer right now, but I'm going to keep this stuff in the back of my mind. And there's certain Marvel characters I absolutely love. So I can see occasionally picking up, here's the Daredevil one.
Yeah.
Daredevil and Bullseye.
And, I'm not seeing the Thing, but maybe
he's in Fantastic Four. He's probably in the sense.
Okay. Maybe that's what it is. I saw the Hulk, but it looks like maybe there's a different Hulk.
There's 2. There's the standard Hulk and the Immortal Hulk.
I just saw the Immortal Hulk one. It's a different pose.
Yeah, that's him coming.
Right.
But I like this one a little better.
Huh. I'm not seeing anything. I put in Fantastic Four and I don't see anything coming up. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
Maybe
they don't have the rights to the Fantastic Four.
Wait, no, I'm seeing it. At least no. Wait. I see a picture. So it must not be out yet, but it's coming out.
They have Marvel Crisis Protocol Crashed Sentinel Terrain Pack. And it has like a gas station, a Roxxon quick change. And it's partially destroyed because a piece of a Sentinel fell on it or something like that. That's wonderful. See, that's the kind of stuff that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really fun. Okay, well, I'll have to try to remember that because I'd like to see the Fantastic Four stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is showing up. I don't know if this is somebody's private one.
Yeah. How long has this game been around?
A little while now, a couple of years now.
Oh. You know what is interesting? That they use the word crisis when for decades now, it's almost as if DC sort of owns the word crisis.
Yeah.
They made it their own and they've used it so many times that I'm surprised Marvel would pick a word that's more associated with DC.
Oops, I did that wrong.
To use.
I did that wrong.
What did you do wrong?
Oh, I didn't put it up there, but I was trying to share my screen. And I went.
Hello, Harry. Sorry, I was looking at Amazon when you walked into the room.
Okay, we'll allow it to share that. And then what I'll do is I'll click over to here. Do you see that?
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Wow.
Yeah, you can see things pretty big.
Yeah, that's nice. I like the bases that it looks like a street kind of.
Yeah,
Not too crazy about the Human Torch, but you know what? There's always been a problem with having the Human Torch in action figures and other types of things because of like how do you represent flames, you
yeah,
know? Oh, that was cool. So I would assume that's going to be one pack then.
yeah. Now I'm not
Yeah.
sure when that's coming out, but that's what I can find online.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If you see when it comes out, say something to me.
Absolutely. I'm surprised there isn't one out already because, like I said, they've got two different Daredevils and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
you think they would have started with Fantastic Four?
Now, this might have come out when
Yeah,
the Marvel thing where they weren't doing much with the Fantastic Four.
that's that. I was just gonna say that. Yeah, or they're just not very popular.
Well, if they do a movie, which they're supposed to be doing, then I think they'll become popular again.
Oh, that supposed movie, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, so Crisis Protocol, they're not cheap. This was a $25 figure.
I saw some $40 ones in there.
Yep.
I think I like the idea that you have to build it, and and that's what I like.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been really enjoying the building process of it. I think as I've gotten older, the craft part of these things, the painting and building miniatures, the crocheting, those things have really started to light my fire a little more than they used to,
Sure. Sure.
So, all right, let's go ahead. I got a story I want to tell though.
Okay.
That involves you know Stephen Amell, right?
Right.
Stephen Amell posted on a story or a quick version of the story. I'm going to kind of spread it out a little bit. But I guess he was flying from somewhere to somewhere, like from Canada to LA, and had a connector flight in Seattle. And he was racing through the Seattle airport trying to make his flight. And he ended up running into this kid and knocked him down, hurt the kid's shoulder, the whole thing.
Broke the kid's shoulder. Wow.
Hurt.
Oh, hurt. Okay.
Hurt.
But still.
Yeah. So probably bruised it. I don't think he broke it.
When we say kid, do we mean a literal kid
like
or
teenager?
Okay. All right.
Well, I guess the kid is awestruck because not only is Stephen Amell standing in front of him, not only does he know who Stephen Amell is, but he points down his laptop and he's watching the pilot episode of Arrow. So
Stephen Amell just hurt him.
Yeah. Failed this airport.
Yeah.
But so Stephen Amell posts, "Hey to the kid from the Seattle airport who I ran into. I hope your shoulder feels better. If you ever need me to threaten anybody or to talk you up to some girls, I'll be there in full suit." I just love that idea that this kid has got an ace in the hole, that he can get Stephen Amell to show up as Green Arrow.
Wow.
Wouldn't you have that, like, can you be the chaperone at the prom?
I was going to say he probably should be careful of what he's offering there. I would have added on within reason.
All right, let's see. What is Harry's question? Let's see. Okay, here's the topic. Since I-5 is out this weekend, today Wordle was Rodeo. Yeah, I got Rodeo. Where have all the tie-in novels gone? Back in the day, we had Indiana Jones novels, comics, RPGs, and magazines. These days, a sense of shared canon is gone. from many franchises. That's a fair. I
Yep.
assume I-5 is Indiana Jones 5.
Hmm.
That's a fair comment.
Yep. And because I have many writer friends who have done a lot of novelizations and tie-ins,
Yeah,
and it all really has gone away. I mean, even and I've done tie-ins, and it's hard to get that kind of work anymore because it's just not out there.
yeah. I've just finished a Morbius novel by Brandon Deenan,
Hmm.
and I was surprised that it didn't tie into the movie. It did contradict the movie,
Right.
but it wasn't a tie into the movie. And you would think because it came out so close to when the movie came out, it would have been tied together.
Hmm.
Nope, it was totally a comic book one.
Yeah. My assumption is that the the license holders believe that there's not enough people reading actual books anymore to do
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I mean, God, in the 70s there was novelizations of everything.
Oh yeah.
Literally. I mean, and half of them were written by Alan Dean Foster. Because back then I used to get every single thing that Alan Dean Foster had out, so I got a lot of novelizations of
I think
movies.
I read the novelization of Rambo, which is hilarious because if you think about it, Rambo is based, is a sequel to First Blood, which was based on a novel. But
Yeah,
the tie-in wasn't, was it
right.
David Morrell?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
They couldn't have a novelization of Superman the movie or Superman 2 because of Mario Puzo. There was all of that kind of
yeah.
legal things. So they put out two original novels by Elliot S. Magan, who is the comic book writer.
Mhm.
But they dressed them up to look like they were the novelizations, but they were actually original Superman novels, and very good ones for that matter. But it was just all an interesting time when it was a kind of like it stuck out like a sore thumb that there wasn't any novelization of Superman the movie.
I saw an interview with Megan's just recently, and what it was is that he had written a Superman idea for a Superman movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then suddenly they did, the actual Christopher Reeves movie got moving forward.
Yeah.
So he was going to shelve it, and his editor goes, "Well, no, we'll just write him as books."
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so
The
he did,
second one is Miracle Monday, and then they actually brought the main character from that into the comics. So it's interesting. There's a tie-in there, which I always thought was really cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, I mean, the closest thing I've ever done to a tie-in was I've done some. I did some novels for Dynamite Books
Yeah.
where I
Yes.
adapted the comics.
Mm-hmm.
I did Purgatory, which was based off of like 6 pages from a Chaos comic story that
Mm-hmm.
gave her origin, and I spread it out into an actual novel, or adapted the first graphic novel for the boys.
Mm-hmm.
That's about as close as but
True story. We actually know each other because I approached you about when I had heard that Dynamite was doing,
Yep.
novels, and here I am still waiting all these years later.
We haven't done anything in a while.
I know. Yes.
But,
You know why? Because those things don't really sell, probably.
well, the big thing that the big problem we had was the Dynamite's a small company.
Yes. Sure.
And all of them are so focused on the comic stuff. So I went in, I did a lot of the writing, I edited the books. I would work with the different editors of the thing, but overall, I brought in my own editor from outside. I worked with the voice people because we did audiobooks for them.
Mm-hmm.
I have a group of actors that I work with out here. I got them So I did 99% of the work.
Mhm.
I did the formatting and putting all the files together. They were supposed to do the marketing, and they had a guy who would do all the digital uploads and stuff. And the marketing got dropped because it was, well, we got to focus on getting this week's comics out, then we can look at the books, and then it just never got around to it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
you know,
remember I was hoping for $6 Million Man back when Dynamite used to do those comics.
yep. So the licenses change hands so quickly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm reading IDW's Transformers and GI Joe, and then all of a sudden it's Skybound has them now. What?
Yep. Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Let's see. Harry says, I saw 3 Indiana Jones cover magazines on the grocery store stand this week. They were $10 to $13, and they were mostly pictures and photos. Couldn't hold a candle to Starlog, Wizard, real behind the scenes journalism articles. You know what I'm saying? Granted, they're all online now, but I just felt that we lost something in the great digital translation. Agreed.
Sure.
Absolutely. I used to love Wizard magazine and stuff like that. You know,
I was a Starlog junkie, you know, almost from the very beginning. I came in the first. There was maybe 3 or 4 issues had come out before I found it, and then I bought it straight for about 12 years. You know, just that was the internet. You know, that's
Yeah.
how I found. They had a little thing right in the beginning that was just little blips of news about they're going to be making this into a movie. They're going to be making this into a movie, and my friends and I would just go, oh wow, and then half of that stuff never even happened, of course. But yeah, Starlog was just great.
Yeah. Nowadays we get all that stuff online, and half of it's not even real. My favorite rumor going around right now, and again, don't know if this one's true or not, but it seems that Ben Affleck was seen on the set of a superhero movie.
On what movie?
On the set of a currently filming superhero movie.
Oh, I didn't realize they were filming. Is that part of the rumor that they're filming the Supergirl movie?
No, I didn't say Supergirl.
Oh,
I said a superhero movie.
Oh, superhero. Pardon me. Yes, wait, I heard this one too. It's I can't. It's yeah. They're wondering if he's going to be playing Daredevil.
Yep,
in it.
It's Deadpool 3.
Deadpool 3. That's it. Okay.
And people are assuming he's going to show up as Daredevil, as the movie is kind of a finale for all of the Fox superhero characters.
Mm-hmm.
Before everything is completely merged back into DC and Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And Daredevil was one of the Fox characters when Ben Affleck played him.
Is he already? Do we know? Is he friends with Ryan Reynolds? Are they known to be good friends?
I don't know.
Because I mean, it could literally be like he was visiting his, Ryan Reynolds, his friend, or Hugh Jackman for that matter. But yeah, I mean, was Jennifer Garner there?
People say they saw him filming.
Oh, okay.
So,
and Jennifer Garner.
Yep.
Right? Is that part of the word?
Or Colin Farrell, or well, it can't be Michael Clark Duncan, sadly. But so yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting. But all right, let's get into our big topic. So we'll put the spoiler warning up.
You should also have a banner that says Jim and Dan may or may not be Skrulls.
I'm surprised there's not a filter you could put that every once in a while just goes.
I think that would be genius. That would be amazing. Is there an app for that?
If there isn't, there should be. But,
Skrull app.
Yep. So, first episode of Marvel Secret Invasion dropped. And it was, well, what was just initial impression? Not getting into the details. What was your initial impression?
I enjoyed it very much. It was like what I had thought it was going to be, and I found that I personally felt that I needed to pay a little more attention than maybe to a regular Marvel show, because I realized that it was going to be factions, and I wanted to make sure that I understood who was who, because I knew that it was going to get, on purpose, it was going to get confusing with the idea of who, anybody can be a Skrull. So no, I am really enthused for it. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I did not see the ending coming.
Yeah, I kind of thought the beginning negated the ending, as in we wouldn't need that big of an ending with the way it started.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
But they definitely set the bar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed it thoroughly. I really did. It was better than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we'd get a slow first issue or episode,
Mm-hmm.
and then start building up. And we did do a lot of table setting,
Yeah.
and there's not. They're full on.
Yeah.
You should have paid attention. We gave you the Marvel Legends episodes. You should have paid attention.
Right.
And
I think that right out of the gate, they wanted to make sure that we all realize that it was going to be some heavy stakes, like this is real, folks. This is going to be brutal. This is, going to be powerful, and we're going to prove it to you right now.
Yeah. So let's talk about the very first opening scene.
Mm-hmm.
We get the guy from Game of Thrones doing his conspiracy theory tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
The Skrulls are everywhere.
Yeah.
That's Batman voice.
Yeah. He to me, he was a little bit over the top. The presentation of it was, and maybe it was supposed to be, but it was a little bit over the top. But I still enjoyed it. It was just like, okay,
I agree that he was over the top, but then when I kind of went back and thought about it, my thought was, well, if you got to a point where there's no one you could trust,
yeah,
and that Skrulls could be anybody, it would get to you.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a little over the top, but maybe appropriately.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
now he was a character that we'd never seen before in the MCU, right? That's what I thought. There was a moment where I asked myself, like, wait a minute, am I supposed to know this character? But no. Okay, so he was new at that point. And he was working for, it's because
He's supposed to be a SHIELD agent.
Okay. That's what.
Well, maybe CIA, but
okay.
So,
I mean, I'm trying to remember, is there an active SHIELD at this point?
Well, there's something, because there's sword, yeah. So maybe it's not, maybe it's all kind of blended together.
That's what I'm kind of wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question, because, well, the first thing is that when Everett and he get into a fight, it's very strange. It's like I don't get why they fought. What gave away that made the guy attack Everett?
Let me ask you this: how much went through your mind about when you see Everett? Did you say, "Wait a minute, like we missed something there," or why is he there? Knowing what we know about the last time we saw Everett, or did you just go with it? Because I kept sitting there going, for one thing, I forgot the scene in Wakanda Forever where he's rescued, by Okoye, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, he was arrested. How could this be? Everett? What did we miss? And then a little bit later on, I remembered, like, no, wait a minute, he was rescued, but how could he be back in the game, as it were?
See, that's why you're supposed to watch the Marvel Legends stuff.
Okay.
Why they do them. They give them to us for a reason, folks. Jim's a cautionary tale. He didn't do his homework.
I'm
And he ruined the episode.
a know-it-all, and I thought I'm too good to sit there and watch Legends.
But what surprised me was if he is on the, it didn't come up for me until he called for an extraction,
Mm-hmm.
and Maria Hill's the one that answered him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wait, why are they working together?
Right.
That's the part that threw me off.
Yeah.
And I don't have an answer for that.
Right. And again, who is she working for? Or, was working for, I guess.
Yeah, what agency are these guys working for that he can call and get an extraction?
Mm-hmm.
And who's this guy working for that had all the conspiracy stuff? And so, yeah, it's all kind of interesting from that point of view. And I think they need to explain that better. But let's talk about the reveal. We see him being chased by somebody. Did he fall off the building? Did he miss the jump? It just seemed like he jumped to his death.
I'm trying to remember what I thought right at that moment, and I don't think he jumped. I think it was accidental.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I didn't get the impression that he did that on purpose.
I didn't either, but then when I saw it a second time, I'm not sure where he was jumping to.
Okay. See, I haven't gone back and watched it again. Just haven't had the time. So maybe that is what I need. Maybe this is, the last couple of Marvel shows I didn't really go back and rewatch, but maybe this is the one that I really do need to go back and rewatch, everything.
Yeah. But the thing so when he shows up, when we find out he's a Skrull,
mm-hmm.
That's when my mind started doing the math. How long has he been a Skrull? Has he been a Skrull the whole time? And I've seen some websites who seem to think that he was a Skrull from the beginning because he was working the Civil War angle and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't, for one simple reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because he got shot and saved, operated on by Shuri. In Wakanda.
Yeah.
And while they can pretend to be certain things, I think the computer system that Shuri uses to do all the would go, this physiology is not human.
Yeah, there's no way. This is like the worst possible type of show to present to fanboys, because it's like this way lies madness.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, we're going to present a show where Skrulls are everywhere and people that you think are humans are Skrulls, because then you do that. Yeah, it's endless. You could go back with everybody and go through the whole damn MCU and say who's a Skrull and when were they Skrulls. I mean, that sort of happened in the comic book when we learned how many of the superheroes had been replaced. And then you had to say, when were they replaced? And then, this is already making me nervous because they want you to do this. Question everything. Question everyone. I don't believe anything that we'd ever seen of Everett before this was a Skrull. I don't think he was a Skrull in Wakanda forever. I really don't. I think, it happened sometime after that. And maybe because he's off the board, that made it easy for this guy, this Skrull, to be him. Mm-hmm. If Everett is now in Wakanda, which I'm assuming that's what he is, he has to hide out. And where better to hide out?
He didn't go to Wakanda and he got captured by the Skrulls and he's, on one of those machines we saw.
My assumption with that, and I'm glad you brought that up, is that a Skrull can change themselves to look like anybody as long as they see them and all of that. But they won't be able to have that knowledge unless they do the actual. They got the
Yes.
person and they do the thing.
Yeah.
So, but you can still. So there's another question: is did he have Everett's not real knowledge, or was he just posing, looking
Yeah.
like him? And if he does, when did they get Everett, and where is he? You know.
Now, the directors assured us that we're going to get the full story on Ross by the end of
Okay.
this. So,
Okay.
all right. So from there, we find out it's Talos. Nick comes back.
Mm-hmm.
He gets caught up. We find out that Talos' wife is gone.
Yeah.
And I think that was a specific reason for that. So that when we get to the ending, we don't immediately assume that Maria Hill is a Skrull, because the Skrull that was posing as her is already dead. In
You
Spider-Man
have
No
to
Way
say that again.
in Spider-Man No Way Home,
Yeah. Oh,
Talos and his wife
right.
posed. Yeah, so it's just to throw away the idea that first, oh no, she's not dead. That's probably a Skrull.
Yeah.
No, there's
Yes.
already a Skrull that, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I forgot that was his wife.
Yeah, that was Soren. Yeah.
Okay. You're right. That's what that is. No, listen. I mean, I know we're kind of jumping to the end part now. I really do not believe that she was a Skrull, like a different Skrull.
Yeah, no, that was Maria Hill.
Yeah. And as far as I know, I think Kobe Smulders has been interviewed and talking about, her 11 years as the character and everything. And it's like, unless that's some huge big setup by Marvel and they've, enlisted her to do that. No, I think we can be pretty assured that wasn't.
Yeah.
And I said it, this show needed that gut punch to show everybody that's shit got real in this.
Yeah.
And they look at everybody, all the characters, and they say, okay, what would it mean if so and so got killed and so, and really she's I hate to say it, as hard as that was, she was the choice, from a writing standpoint. Who is somebody that would really impact viewers and fans? But she's obviously, we can't kill Fury, we can't kill Talos. We're not going to kill one of the new characters because it wouldn't really mean anything so soon to us. It had to be Maria Hill.
Yeah.
No,
I agree.
And as hard as that was, it was like, then you start to take things very seriously now.
Well, I think they partially did that with the Ross thing. I thought that was going to be the gut punch of the episode. And we wouldn't get another one probably until the end of 2. But to get it already, it's like, oh, Lord, they're going big on this one.
Yes. Yep.
Because you remember the movie Executive Decision? Kurt Russell gets on board Air Force One trying to save, that's been hijacked. They sneak on board. Steven Seagal is leading the troops to go in there to do it.
Okay.
And Steven Seagal gets killed in the first 7 minutes.
Okay.
So you're thinking you're going to this action movie with Steven Seagal and Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
And Kurt Russell's playing basically an accounting type character.
Uh-huh.
And they kill Seagal like that. And suddenly you're going, wait, what?
Right.
Hey, hold on. I don't know what I'm watching anymore. And I think that's what they were trying to do. So they give you the reveal of Ross. So now you're sitting there, your head in the back of your mind, you're doing this while you're watching the episode. And then it's like, oh wait, this girl that's helping the enemy, that's Talos' daughter. She was like this high when we went her last time. So then you've got that thing going on, and she's working against her dad. And so you've got all these gut punches.
Yeah.
Already, the death of Soren, and then when Fury and Talos get together, there is this intimacy between them. You know, they do the head thing that the
Mhm,
trolls
mhm,
do,
mhm,
which is like I guess like a hug, but
mhm.
um, you know, and he's like, you know, Soren really loved you, and there's just a lot going on there. So I kind of thought we were gut punched out, you know.
Given the nature of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, yeah, and given the fact that it exists in more or less in real time, yeah, it's like things are going to happen that we just won't get to see.
Yeah,
He has now Fury has now known Talos since the 90s, since the 1990s.
yeah,
you know
but
we know that Nick has been up, on the
same.
what the saber, yeah, and we imagine all different kinds of things that are going on. Before I forget, I should have known something was up when Kobe Smulders is not in the credits,
Yep,
and
she just
I
slipped in.
didn't, that I know, and I said, wow, that's weird. Like I like she's not like a small player or anything. And here it turns out it's like, well, she was just a, what was it, special guest or something
Uh-huh.
like that. And the same
Yeah,
with Freeman too. He just
yeah.
got that, special guest kind of thing. But it was like, I remember going like, wow, that's kind of weird. If I was her, I'd be a little mad. She doesn't even get her name in the opening,
No,
thinking
no, they're telling her.
she's going to be all through this thing.
Oh no, but yeah, I fully expected her to be popping up. But I think the idea here is to take away all of um, Fury's support systems too.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it would be surprised if Talos either gets captured or compromised. You know. Plus, I do like the fact that all we know about his wife being dead is that she's dead,
Mm-hmm.
and that he tells his daughter that the people she works for were responsible. They don't tell her, he doesn't tell her how,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't talk about it with anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So is there something he's hiding? Because I mean, that's the nature of this kind of show is you start doubting everybody.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
You know?
Question everybody. I'm very interested to find out, or if we will truly see how much we'll see of the good scrolls.
Yeah.
Basically Talos's people, and if that will become a part, of the show,
Yeah.
or if we get a sense at all of how many scrolls are actually on Earth.
Assuming Talos is a good scroll.
Stop doing that to me.
Just saying.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, when you say that, do you mean that he is working with the bad guy Skrulls,
He
or
might be.
he's a there's another group of bad Skrulls?
No, he might be working with them.
Oh,
He's just in with Nick to make sure they don't get stopped.
then that I mean, why would there be the scene between him and his daughter then? Why,
Yeah, that's a good question, and that
okay,
kind of goes against it.
okay. I
But
I think I, I think we can pretty much trust that, but now what you said was very
no,
interesting, that he may become compromised,
uh-huh.
or somehow end up working with the bad ones.
Okay, but she goes to meet him, tells him about the bombs,
Hmm.
and marks the backpacks, but the bombs aren't in the backpacks; they're a distraction.
Yeah.
Now, did she rat out, or is Talos part of the bad guys and was doing it to test to see if his daughter was really committed?
Stop. I did wonder why in the first episode she would more or less change sides in the first episode. I mean, I guess she's already maybe questioning things, and then the news of her mother pushes her along even more. But it seemed to me that it was kind of too easy that she went and marked the backpacks. I don't trust her. I want to trust Talos more than I want to trust her at all, if that's even a thing.
Let's see. Andrew says, my thought line is that the dirty bomb was to lure Nick out, then frame him for Hill's murder so no one listens to him. Then Skrulls use the dirty bombs on U.S. soil as Russian retaliation to the AAR. That's possible. And we do know that he does become a wanted person. We know that from the trailers. But,
were those dirty bombs? Isn't a dirty bomb it's like does it have radiation in it, or?
Yeah, dirty bomb is basically a radiated thing, and the Skrulls can't be irradiated. They're immune to radiation.
Okay, so are we to believe that those ones that went off were actual dirty bombs, or were they just because that means that Nick is in the middle of them?
They didn't seem big enough.
I think that those were like regular bombs, because if not, then Nick has been exposed to that, and I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't know. That might be how he de-ages and continues on. But
I honestly think that they're going to hold out the dirty bombs for and keep having that being held over, the good guys all along. I don't think that that's what those were. I think those were, regular bombs. And that was very effective. That was very scary. And I kept thinking to myself, like, that could really trigger people watching that who may have been in Boston, or know people that, were, and it really makes me wonder what Russia thinks about the. I don't know if they get the Marvel shows eventually, over there, but it had to make me wonder what they think of that, in an American TV show.
They only get Black Widow over there.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. They all love Red Guardian. So two things I want to talk about. First is Marvel pulling off the most obscure reference of all time.
Okay. Which is?
Olivia Colman. They've captured Nick Fury. They've brought him into her office. She hasn't unmasked him yet. And she says, you're either Nick Fury or a grand return of Paul Robeson.
Oh, okay. I got that, and then I heard an explanation for it, and now I've already forgotten it. She says the ghost of Paul Robeson.
Yeah, because Paul Robeson was famous for having this real deep baritone voice, singing stuff like Old Man River.
Old Man River in Karis, or
but the thing is that Paul Robeson was a believer in socialism. Yeah. And he was very popular in Russia, and he's one of the few African Americans to actually spend time in Moscow when he was alive.
Yeah.
And I looked it up because I was curious. The number of Black people in Russia is like 0.03%.
Thank you. That's very interesting, because there was a comment by, I think it's Maria, says something like, oh, a Black man in Russia, that'll go over real well, or you'll stick out real well. And then I said to myself, I wonder if maybe I would assume there's not that many, but I thought, wow, maybe there's really not any at all. I honestly didn't know, and I didn't look it up. So thank you very much for looking that up.
But so for a Paul Robeson reference, it's timely. I mean, it's not timely, but it's a appropriate one, but still vague.
Yeah,
I mean, I want to know what the Google search was after the episode for how many people were looking him up.
I bet. I bet.
Because because anytime they drop a name like that, you know everybody's looking it up, trying to figure out, is this an actual Marvel character?
Yeah.
And they get his bio, it's got to be like, oh my god,
Well, I have to wonder if Nick got that reference.
yeah. So, and then this was the wild ass speculation I brought up on my show on Tuesday or on Thursday, excuse me, and I mentioned to you just beforehand. So, let me set it up. Number one, it seems to me like for Gravik, this is personal.
Hmm.
When Fury goes out walking that night, we see the little girl with the ball. We see the woman making out, or and the romantic thing on the bench. We see the old guy at the bar who talks to him, and those are the same people Gravik uses when Fury is following him.
Hmm.
So he's like telling him, "I've been watching you."
Hmm.
He's specifically taunting him. And then when he kills Maria, to do it in the form, he's smiling as Nick Fury.
Hmm.
So this is all very personal. Now, before even this episode started, I had this idea in the back of my head. Because there's I don't know if it's a rumor, but there's supposedly an actress. We're going to dive into Nick's personal history, the stuff we've never seen before. And there's an actress who has been cast to play Nick's wife.
Hmm.
So my thought is maybe like Gaia, working for the bad guys against her father, maybe Gravik is Nick Fury's son. And like I said, I got that before the episode. And then with how personal it is, but also it seems personal for Nick,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of makes me wonder if that might be the case. Now, from a writer's point of view, I don't like the idea. Well, the daughter's already involved, so now we're going to use this guy's son.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That was one point that I was going to bring up. To me, that's a little bit too cute to have the two main characters both have offspring,
right.
on the opposite side.
Right.
I mean, I personally wouldn't do that at all. My second point is I mean, I don't know what they've done in the comics as far as a human Skrull hybrid, whether that's possible in the comics at all. Someone probably will prove me wrong here. I think there have been Kree Skrull hybrids.
Yeah, Halfling.
Yeah, I was going to
Hulkling.
say Hulkling. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's one. Okay, but I think for this show and I mean, I know we're talking about a show that has shape-changing aliens in it, but other than that, the way it's presented, I don't know if that might be a little bit too much to say, okay, humans and Skrulls can breed, and even a half-breed Skrull can still have the full shape-changing, abilities.
yeah.
Um,
Well, but they could also make it that she had a son who was like Gaia's age, and her and Fury hooked up, and he raised it as his son, even though it wasn't his son.
yeah, yeah.
But
And
and in
then
the comics,
maybe I don't really want to go down the road of, okay, yeah, the two black characters in this show are related. They have to be related, right?
I had that hesitation too.
I
But
I I'm not. I don't want to say 100%. It's not going to happen. But I my feeling is that that's not what it is. That it's somehow personal. Sure. The other thing is Nick sees Gravik's and I'm trying to figure out what like regular human form the
Mhm.
so I mean he unless he doesn't know that he has a son. I mean he now has seen the guy, so I mean he would
Well,
know.
but they told him it was Gravik in the beginning.
Yeah, okay.
So
I I I I don't know.
see, my thought is that Marvel is more likely to do something like that than they are to go back and retcon all of these characters to have been the scroll a long time. Marvel tends to, when they do movies and shows, they don't do the big thing.
Hmm.
We've that's where speculation gets into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Is, oh, they're going to bring in this character. Oh, the power broker is going to be the Red Skull, or it's going to be MODOK.
Yeah.
They tend to keep it somewhat insular. They don't bring
Yeah.
in a lot of strange stuff.
Or the Fantastic Four is going to be in Quantum Mania.
Yes. Now that one made sense, but
It made sense to who again?
to actually quite a few people. I
Oh,
wasn't the
okay.
only one that had that theory.
Okay. Well, shame on Marvel for not doing that. Maybe
I
it was
agree.
a
I
flop.
think it would have. I think the movie would have done a lot better with the Fantastic Four showing up. But
Okay.
you know, um, but so it's like I'm very confident in saying that Ross has only been a scroll since he got arrested.
I feel yes. I feel that he's gone. He has to go. He had to go underground, and the Skrulls use that to their advantage.
Yeah. Andrew asked a question. I'm not sure what it is. So who's the mystery scroll on the second floor at not Chernobyl? I
That's
don't.
Gravik. Yeah, when she sees the guy up above, no, that was Gravik, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I didn't think it was anybody else.
No, I don't think so either. But so I think we've hit all the highlights of the episode, don't you?
Yeah, yes. I just want to say my two favorite lines. I love the part about maybe I'll have my midlife crisis shopping spree, and then what did you get? And
The
yours,
Avengers.
the Avengers. And I have to admit, I laughed when the whole thing with Nick's going on about the spooks, meaning the covert operatives, and Maria says you can't say that, and he says no, you can't say that.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny, I must admit.
Yeah, I like that. I like the Paul Robeson line because it was so obscure.
Yeah. I don't know what to think about her character yet and how that will play into this. I mean, my guess is she's a Skrull.
She could be a scroll,
Mm-hmm.
or she could be set up for a character going forward.
Okay.
I heard somebody had a theory that, and it's not mine, that they thought maybe she was going to be the future version of Spy Master, who would then be part of the Armor Wars story.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think she's an interesting character. She's loosely tied into James Montgomery Falsworth, at least the same last name.
Yeah. I don't think that's an accident.
Yeah.
At all.
Right. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how her character plays out. But the other line I really liked is, and this is another one that kind of went to the idea that maybe Fury's wife is a Skrull, is when Talos says that he was considered a good-looking Skrull, and Nick says, I know some good-looking Skrulls, and you ain't one of them.
Right. Oh, okay. Wait. Well, here's another one before I forget. So I do a show with a guy from Toledo. We did it earlier, and he started to bring up something, and I said, "Oh my God, that's exactly what I thought." He and I both agree that we may or may not want that by the end of the series, everything's taken care of. We've beaten the Skrulls or whatever, and then we get that sort of cliche thing at the very, very end. There's somebody like the very last shot is somebody turns into a Skrull, and you go, ah, it's not all over, and then the show ends. So, do you think that's going to happen, and would you want that to happen, or would you want a better, more satisfying ending to
I
this?
would like a satisfying ending.
I think it's too much of a cliche.
Yeah.
He said that he thinks it's going to be the president.
Yeah. Well, I think the president's going to die.
Oh, okay.
I think that there's going to be an attack on the president because we've seen clips of somebody attacking like the presidential motorcade.
Yeah.
So it's possible, but it's possible he's a Skrull. It's possible Rhodey's a Skrull.
I'm never going to watch this show again. It's just too nerve-wracking. I watch shows for enjoyment, entertainment, and this is not entertainment. Damn it all. And they killed Maria Hill.
They did. They absolutely did.
Yeah,
so,
but
yeah,
you know
what?
But I mean, and you know what? It was really sad because it looks like the last thing she ever saw was, she thought was that Nick Fury killed her.
Yep. Yeah, Maria Colby Smulders talked about that in an interview. She said that she thinks this is it. She's like, yeah, we do live in a multiverse, so you never know. But she says, I think this is it. Yeah. She says, I never had a death scene before, so that's fun.
Oh, well,
and she feels horrible that the last thing Maria thought was that Nick killed her.
Yeah. Well,
and she says, I hope that she kind of put it together before she died.
We may never know.
Yep. So I can't wait for the next episode. And I haven't been this geeked about a series in a while.
Good.
I think Moon Knight's the last one that got me that interested.
So not only is it nice to have a new Marvel series, but it's nice that the very first episode of this one was really good.
Yep.
And that we can look forward to, more.
Absolutely. I am on board and ready to go with this one. So, all right, we have gone over our hour. Thank you all for joining us. Andrew, Harry, and everybody else. Jim, always fun. And we'll do this again next week.
All right.
More Secret Invasion.